walking alone in the middle of the night. We shine brighter than a diamond. We were strangers at the start, now we can't be apart. Sitting in the back.
Alright, hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over something I've been working on for a little while now. Ever since Alpaca added crypto trading to their API, which is a huge win. This is a paper account here. I've been kind of working on the background on something to trade crypto on that based off of an algorithm. And I'm not super knowledgeable on, like technical indicators and knowing when to buy and sell, especially with crypto because it's a lot more volatile than stocks. But I wrote this script here based off of a EMA crossover. I'm using a 20 and a 50, and just for demonstration purposes and to kind of get everybody on the same page, an EMA is an exponential moving average, and it'll follow the price action kind of based off of what time frame you're looking at. So I'm using a 20 and a 50, and kind of the idea is when the 20 crosses above the 50, you want to buy, and then when it goes back below, you want to sell. For the script I wrote, I decided to do a sell just based off of kind of like a take profit and a stop loss, but traditionally you would sell kind of when they cross back over, or however you want to do that. But it's a pretty simple kind of thing to write. I found something that's really hard when you start getting into especially some more complicated like indicators like this, where you and I were looking at it here on this chart, and it's like, okay, it's very clear. Like you can see it's crossing over. There's a green candle, and it just keeps going up. It's kind of hard to get your algorithm to see visual things like this. So the one I'm going to demo today that I've been working on for a while is a pretty simple way to do that. And what I'm going to do is go through kind of how everything works, what I've done. I've tested it a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and let it run for probably about a week, and we'll see if it does well or not. Ethereum's pretty low right now, so I think we're going to go back into an uptrend, and that might kind of bias our results if it's in like a consistent trend upward. Obviously, like it's very easy to make a profit when the market's bullish. But just to start out, so we have all the same imports as we used for our tutorials on automated trading, with the web drivers and stuff like that. So if you're curious about those, go check out some of the videos on the automated stock trading. I have some logging stuff here that I was using, turned that all off because it was just cluttering the screen while it was running. So here I've got my keys. Don't worry about those. They'll be changed by the time this video is live, but it's also for a paper account. So if you want to go mess up the algorithm in a paper account, go ahead and try. Okay, what I've done here is I have this first run variable because in order to get the computer to see this crossover happening, we're going to need to have values over a time period. So we're going to pull values like here and see that the 50 is above the 20, and then pull values over here and see that the 20 is above the 50. So it's going to be a little bit more complicated than just pulling, like buy, sell, whatever. So setting this first run variable to 0, I've got a 20 EMA and a 50 EMA, and I've got these variables called previous. We set up our instance of our API right here, and we get into this loop, which is kind of the meat of everything. So we're getting a list of our positions, and we're making a string, a list, just a Python list of all of our positions that we own. That'll be important later, because we're going to want to see if we already own Ethereum. We're not going to go ahead and buy more Ethereum, because in this bot that we're using right now, we are trading with our like entire account value of just like buying Ethereum when we see that crossover and selling it off once we take a profit or a loss. So here we're getting the account, we're checking our buying power. I'm subtracting this 500 from it because you need to have some leftover. You can't go your entire way in on margin, or it'll shoot you an error and say like you can't spend your entire account balance at once. You need to have that leftover kind of. So here, this is the site where I am pulling my data from, and something I found, I had to actually extend what I was doing with the wait time between. Oh, I didn't get it. The wait time I was doing between pulling up the website, because the website was actually kind of locking me out because it realized I was pulling data every, 30 seconds. So I actually extended the time frame we're looking at a little bit, which is why I'm probably going to run it for a week rather than like a day or two. But here we have this. I'm running it on the 15-minute time frame. And then if we scroll down here, we have the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA, which is good. That's exactly what we need. So all I had to do was, go in here like we did in the web scraping tutorial, my most recent video before this one. We just go ahead and inspect this. Boom. And then we pull this data over to our script by doing some web scraping. So we set up our Firefox WebDriver headless mode, so it's not cluttering the screen. And then we scroll the length of the window to make sure everything's loaded. We click on that button right here that I was just explaining, the 15-minute. I found that refreshing the browser right here actually helps out a lot. I had a couple times where it was running well for maybe like 10 or 11 iterations through, and then it would just pull nothing for the EMA 20 and the EMA 50, which obviously is going to skew our results. So I have this driver refresh, and that seems to have fixed it. And then pulling the 20 EMA, pulling the 50 EMA, doing a little sleep in between there to make sure everything's loaded okay, and then printing both of the current ones to the screen so we can see the results that we're getting and see if anything's going wrong. So then, if that first run is 0, which it's going to be the first time we go through this loop, it's going to log the initial EMA 20 and 50, just get a little notification about that, and then set those equal to the previous. And then it's going to set that first run equal to 1, so we never execute this part again after that first run through. And then we're doing a 5-minute sleep, 300 seconds, between each run. Since we're on a 15-minute time frame, 5 minutes might be a little long, but that's just kind of what we're going for now to test it out. We can always adjust this. We can adjust all kinds of stuff as we go and see how it works out after testing for a week. So then once we're out of this, and then that first run, we're just going to continue and restart the loop because we need to have that data of the previous ones in order to even to compare it and see if like it's crossed or not. So then for the rest of the code, in this first thing right here, it's going to go ahead and pull the EMAs again when it starts the loop over. It's going to compare those to what it was last time. So it's going to say if the last 20-day moving average was less than or equal to the last 50-day moving average, and it's now greater, and we don't own Ethereum, it's going to go ahead and find the price, figure out what quantity we want based off that price using our balance that we calculated right here up top. And then it's going to indicate by buying Ethereum, print that to the screen so we know, and print how many we're buying. And then print this trade. That was mostly for debugging. I'll probably remove that, but it's going to buy Ethereum. And something to note here is what we send to the server to actually buy Ethereum is significantly different than what we send to buy stocks. So check out their API. Make sure you understand like what you need to send to the server to buy crypto instead of stocks. It's significantly different, and that caused me some issues initially because I was sending it like I would send a stock order, and I was getting kickback saying like, no, you can't do that. But actually, Alpaca has recently added some really great walkthrough kind of blog type posts for how to do all of this, and those definitely helped out. That's where I kind of figured out that I was doing this part wrong by reading through one of their posts. So check those out. Those are really helpful as well. So then moving forward, if this part doesn't execute, we're doing an elif here, an else if. If it's in the own list, so if we already own Ethereum, it's going to check our position, and we're just doing a profit loss percentage right here. If we've made 10% profit, we're going to take the profit hit and sell, and it's going to execute this order here, which actually I just noticed. I haven't gotten to this portion in testing, and this is not correct. I need to change it to this format. So disregard this part. And then if we've taken a loss of more than 8% or more, we're going to take a stop loss and just sell it off before we lose more. And then at the very end here, we're setting the previous EMA 50 and the previous EMA 20 to the ones that we just pulled in this iteration. So it's going to keep checking as we go through and set those continuously. And then we're doing a closing the driver. Make sure you do that, especially what I'll tell you is when you're testing something like this, and when you're working through it, if it's crashing a lot, make sure every now and then you pull up your task manager and just close any backgrounded Firefoxes that didn't get closed because it crashed before reaching this point. Because what normally happens to me is I'll not be thinking about it. I'll just be running my code, testing it, kind of focused on solving the puzzle. And then I'll realize my computer is running very slow, at which point I pull up Task Manager and realize I have like 50 headless Firefox browsers just sitting in the background eating my RAM. But yeah, that is the entire code right there. Pretty simple, like less than 100 lines. So we're gonna go ahead and run this for about a week here. I'll go ahead and start it right now and do the first iteration so we can check out and make sure it's pulling that correct EMA 20 and EMA 50. And then I'll run this for a while and check back in with you guys afterward to see how we did, what happened, and yeah, and check out what happens in the long run. So I'm just gonna give it a second here to pull that initial, and then actually I'll have to restart it because I need to go back and edit these cells right here to look more like this, which is the correct format for a crypto buy or sell. So there we go. So we got the current EMA 20 is 1810.17. The current EMA 50 is 1799.97. So right now the EMA 20 is above the EMA 50. So we would have wanted to enter before this happened. So likely it's not going to enter position for a while until these cross back over again and then start back into an uptrend. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video, and I will hop back with you guys after I've fixed that error and tested it for a little while, and we'll see how it's looking. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been about 5 days that I've left it running, and sadly, Ethereum has been in a pretty significant uptrend, so it actually has not made any trades. But it's been monitoring pretty consistently. I had one crash. I don't know if I might have, oh, there it goes. So I had one crash right in here where I got this error, and I'm pretty sure this is just a website kicking me off because I was pulling data every 5 minutes for such an extended period of time. But overall, it worked pretty well. I think if you wanted to see some more action in terms of trading, probably changing the time frame down. If we look like right in where we're doing this, clicking a different button, we should probably go for like a 5-minute time frame or shorter even, if we wanted to see some more action, more consistent trading. But outside of that, I'm relatively happy. I'm going to keep letting it run for a while. I really wanted to get some results to show of it actually doing full trades, buying and selling. But at the same time, I wanted to get this video out so we could get some new stuff up there. So I will be posting a follow-up to this at some point. I'm going to keep letting it run for a while. It looks like Ethereum is about to kind of cross back over with those two EMAs. So I'm going to keep letting this run. We'll see what happens. I'll post either a video or a short following up on like how it's done over a more extended period of time. But for the time being, that's what we got. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Reach out to me. Check out the website. And with that all said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.